September 5th, 2012 meeting of the Radnor Township Historic and Architectural Review Board. I'll start off with a statement regarding the purposes behind the Historical and Architectural Review Board. The board was created to protect and enhance the historic districts of Wayne for the educational, cultural, economic, and general welfare of the public through preservation, protection, and regulation of buildings of historic interest or importance within the districts, and to safeguard elements of architectural history throughout the districts which have been determined to be of historic significance. Under the provisions of the Historic District Ordinance, the HARB serves to review applications for the construction, addition, or demolition of any principal building or any additions or accessory buildings. First on the agenda tonight, HARB 2012-18, 134 Runnymede.
Hi.
Hi, can you state your name, please?
Shannon Warner.
Shannon?
Shannon Warner, yes.
How are you, Shannon?
My wife Lisa and I are the owners and have lived at 134 Runnymede Avenue for the past 15 years.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your project?
Sure. Our home, as I said, we've had it for the past 15 years. I think we're the fourth owners of it. It was built originally somewhere between 1892 and 1894.
Okay.
And suffered a lot of years of neglect and abuse, which we've spent the last 15 years trying to improve on. Finally turned our attention to a couple of projects that we'd like to get accomplished. That's what we're here to talk to you about. One is improvement of the front porch, which is now sort of more of a front stoop. And
Right.
There was originally a porch with the house. It was taken down at some point in the past. We do have some old fire insurance maps that show the original layout of the porch. Current setback regulations don't allow for sort of reconstructing the original configuration and size of the porch. So we're trying to address and improve, enhance the front entrance of the property with a covered porch that does fit within the setbacks.
See.
So that's one piece of the project. The other piece is a small addition in the back side of the property off of the driveway where we're planning to put in a mudroom, laundry room. And I have with me Michael Zimmer, the architect from the project, so if you have any specific questions, he's happy to join in the discussion.
One question, just to clarify, I think I understand what you're saying, is that the new porch, is it resemble or very close to the footprint of what you think may have been the original?
At least a portion of it.
portion.
So it initially, from what we have of the original map, Sanborn Fire
Right.
Company map from 1930, shows that it covered not only the space that we have laid out here, but also wrapped around the front of the house.
Okay,
And the setback won't allow for wrapping around the front of the house.
right.
Do you happen to have that Sanborn map with you?
It's possible that we could pull up a photo of the map.
That'd be great.
Lisa, you may have it on your phone. No. So if I could point out, I can show you what the configuration looked like.
Sure.
So this is the view from the sidewalk.
Mhm.
This is the porch area that we're trying to address. So you see this?
I'm sorry. You want to try using a microphone or try to keep that one?
Sorry
close
about
to you?
that. Sure. So this is the porch that we're trying to address right here. And so we're, with a slight enlargement and reconfiguration of what's here now is what we're trying to do. Originally, the porch wrapped around the front of the house here and came out, another 10 plus feet from the front.
Right.
But we're almost right at the setback line right now with the current construction of the home and the porch.
So you're wrapping, but very narrow, very little.
We're not able to wrap to the front. We're going on
Okay,
the
right,
existing.
Right, it's like okay, got it.
Yeah. It's just sort of that corner indent that you see of the
Exactly.
structure.
It feels like a wrap.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we're trying for.
Right,
It
it gives
does.
the idea of it.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that wraparound porch really makes that house, it ties it together, that's the footprint that you need that's not there. you know?
That's exactly what we're trying to solve
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's a shame that you can't put the whole thing back, but we don't have any kind of overriding way to, for the codes or the ordinance, so.
Understood. We recognized that early on when we first looked into this and decided that we'd do the best we could with what was available to us.
Are those railings wood?
Current railings are iron, wrought iron, that are in horrible shape, if that's what you're asking.
No, I mean,
Maybe
under
the
the
new
proposal.
porch.
I mean,
No, I think they're vinyl, aren't they?
they're vinyl? I can see it.
They are, yes.
Yeah. Must be here where it says vinyl rail.
That's the spot, yeah.
Do you have dimensions, well, let me ask you this. Are the dimensions of the vinyl rail similar to what's there now?
What's there now
Put it up.
is a wrought iron railing that
Can
is...
you put this one on the screen also, please?
Sure.
Yeah, a little hard to see there, I see, but.
And Michael, do you have one of the photos of the current? A close-up. It does not appear to be original. It's something that was put up when that was concreted over, and it's rusted through and falling apart and needs to be replaced for safety reasons for our kids, if nothing else. So I don't think we're losing anything of
Right.
value in removing that.
It appears, and of course, I'm just very quickly looking, similar to some of the porches I'm seeing on some of the homes surrounding in that overall.
What we're proposing, yes, absolutely.
I think that the idea of putting a porch back like that is great for the house, and I think it does give the feeling, if you can't have a wraparound porch, at least, it gives the idea that there was something there, and it makes the front door an important place, and it gives it a place of significance. My only concern really is, in terms of the material, how much detail, using vinyl, how much detail you'll really have, and what the proportions of the vinyl balustrades and posts will be. Will it really look like it should, like it is a historic, not a historic element of the house, but whether it belongs there, or will it look like a very new addition which is trying to look like what it should look like but doesn't? Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm Michael Zimmer.
Hi.
I'm the architect. Yeah, we picked out an AZEC railing, which it has a very traditional
okay.
cross-section
it's
to it,
AZEC.
and the
Okay.
balusters themselves are an inch and a quarter square.
Okay.
So it has a very traditional look.
Good.
Okay, good, yeah. When I saw vinyl on here, I was
Yeah.
thinking of, for example, at the shore, they use that sort of hollow, shiny vinyl for everything, and it doesn't look very,
Yeah, a lot of the
Historic.
manufacturers now are coming up with details that are more traditional,
Yeah.
and they realize that if they want to sell their product in communities like that, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what they have to come up with. So that's what we're doing here. We are doing a lot of things on the cornice work. We're going to match the detailing. It's on the cornice work on the existing house as close as we possibly can. We've got some crown molding going
Yeah.
in, so all of that detail going around the upper section of the porch, that will be matching what's there right now in the way of cornice work. So we're going to do what we can to make it tie in. As you can see, the house to begin with is a very interesting house. It was a little whimsical.
Yeah.
Do you see that the circular window in the second floor?
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
seen anything like that before.
I know, I
I
was
don't know what was
wondering
going
if that was
on when this
original.
thing was first done, but
It's
the
de-
windows
yeah.
have different, you can see we have some full arch top windows and then some arc top
Mm-hmm.
windows, and then there's mullions in some and not in others, and I thought it was replacements that changed some of the windows, but no, these were the
I was gonna
original
say,
windows.
The
that somebody-
quirky spirit.
Yeah, somebody was
Yep.
being a little frivolous at the time, but we were trying not to be frivolous. We did make this an octagon, the porch an octagon, because it was, we wanted to have a flat roof, because you can see the two windows above the roof there, that we didn't want to block those windows. So therefore, we were stuck with a bit of a flat roof, and then we didn't want to just create a rectangle out there. So we thought this was a little something interesting. I laid it out so they could have a chair and a few chairs and a table up there, because they expressed to me an interest in being able to sit out in the evenings and say hi to the neighbors walking by, which seems to be what happens around here. So
Well, I remember seeing this house 15 years ago when it was up for sale.
So do we, yes.
Yeah. And you talk about quirky, that interior, and that was pretty much intact from the original. I made no heads or tails of a lot of the floor plans.
Yeah, and
You just scratch your head.
and it had been carved up into, rooming house configurations, and so we've done a lot of work to try to restore some normality of flow to the whole house, over all these years. So we hope that this is an appropriate and
I have a question. I'm assuming that this isn't part of the application, but when I look at this photograph A, which is the rendering, and then this photograph of the actual house here, it looks like the windows are completely different in the rendering than they are, it looks like, on the house. Is that right, or?
some of the computer.
Okay.
Yeah, the computer wasn't able to imitate some of the old
Okay.
patterns that they had there. So I did take a few liberties in doing that rendering.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
But
we're not changing
You're not
those.
changing
No,
the
we're not
windows,
changing
though.
what was there.
Just for my own information, did you Photoshop this? How did you get that? That's great looking. That's a great idea what you did here.
Chief architect. It's a chief architect, and then it has a little thing you can click on, and it takes 2 or 3 hours to do it on your
Oh, that's the name of the
laptop.
package?
Yeah, it's part of the package.
Really?
I'm not a salesman for it. No
Oh,
money
yeah,
in
yeah,
chief
but-
architect, but I think it's a pretty nice program.
That really is nice.
Yeah, this is really helpful.
Yeah.
It really gives a good indication of the proportions and of what you're doing. And it's great.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Nope.
I think we should just comment a little bit on the other addition that they're putting on, which probably, which is at the rear, which to me seems like it's simple. It's obviously an add-on, but there's something there now.
Yeah, we're following the existing roof lines in the back, and then we are doing a bit of half timbering on the gable end that we have to try and imitate. You can
Right.
see that the gable in front, in the original house picture, the picture of the house itself has some half timbering on the gable end. So we'll do a little bit of half timbering back there just to pick that up.
And the same railing.
Yes,
Looks like.
same railing on the back stair.
I think it's a nice project.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Is there any public comment or questions? Somebody want to make a recommendation?
Okay. A motion to recommend approval of a COA?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. It passes. You'll be getting a certificate of appropriateness for your project, and congratulations, Shannon and Lisa. It looks like a great addition to the house.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Okay. Oh, the Board of Commissioners, we're an advisory board, so we're advising the Board of Commissioners to vote in favor of the certificate of appropriateness.
Okay,
And that
terrific.
will happen at our next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm sorry, Rick? On the 24th, September 24th.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I realize a number of you might be here regarding 219 Poplar Avenue. I'm going to change the agenda somewhat. I'm going to do old business first and then enter into new business. Old business is a technical procedural matter we have to address regarding 219, and it is in connection with a previous condition that we had on our approval, whereas we had requested the roof line of the rear addition to be lowered by 8 inches, to be lower than the freeze board. Subsequent to that condition, it was discovered that that would have been in violation of code, so we have been asked to waive that specific condition to our prior approval, and that is not require the rear roof line to be lowered by 8 inches. And we have it in old business today just to have public approval. So if there's any public comment specifically on the lowering of the 8 inches. Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
This is on the 8 inches, and it deals with historical aspects of the 8 inches. Okay.
Do we approve it or just kind of agree? I don't know.
Well, just one motion.
Hello, this is Matthew Marshall, 228 Walnut Avenue. I've come before both the HARB and the Board of Commissioners related to this new home construction in a nationally registered historic district. A nationally registered historic district. This project, and again from a architectural perspective, has been, in my opinion, built to a scale that's not in proportion with the rest of the neighborhood. I'll speak just about the rear addition today, although I know that the recommendation of the HARB during your last meeting was to deny the second floor addition. I also know that the Board of Commissioners, at a vote of 4-3, voted to deny the second floor rear addition. I'm just purely giving you this background because I am concerned about the process, and I'm very concerned about the precedent this will set for North and South Wayne and all historic areas of Radnor Township. The condition of the second floor rear of the home, under existing conditions, the structure has already been built, and if you take a look at the hash-marked area of the roof, there's no need to lower it 8 inches. It's already been raised. by-
Matthew,
No.
I just, let me,
Okay.
I really appreciate the comments, Matthew. I believe we're going to have a lengthy discussion on this in new business, and just to keep things procedurally proper, we have an open item on our business agenda
Okay.
to deal with, and that's all we're
Okay.
dealing with right now, 8 inches.
Okay.
If there's anything other than that, we will discuss it in new business.
Okay, but
I would just,
I don't have time to stay, but I just want to point out the fact that you don't have
been built.
anything close to what has been represented by the applicant and what has been approved by your board and by the Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew, appreciate it. Is there a motion regarding the business at hand? This would be regarding waiving our previous
Oh, yeah, right,
condition
right.
to lower the roof
Yeah,
by 8 inches.
Right. Motion to approve the waiver to change the roof line to the original.
To waive the
to
previous
waive-
condition.
Waive the previous condition
Okay.
regarding the ridge.
There was a previous condition we put on our previous conditional approval. And one of those conditions was that the rear roof had to be lowered by 8 inches. Subsequently, it was discovered that by doing that, it would violate township
Right.
code. So we've been asked to waive that previous condition we have added to our previous
Oh, I see.
approval.
Okay.
And that's all we're doing.
So it's simply stating that we will, if we approve this, they would be able to raise it 8 inches.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll second the motion. Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Okay, new business. Is there anyone from the audience who would like to raise any issues?
Cam has one new business issue he asked me to mention. Should we do this first? Should I mention what it is?
I think,
I'm not sure, but if you want to speak or add anything,
All I came for was to, if there needed to proceed with the drawing, to show the 8-inch raised ridge wall, that's all. At this time.
I think,
Okay. So the only change to our previous conditional approval was the 8-inch line of the roof,
And that's all.
and that's it. What is your?
Cam just mentioned that he'd like to give a presentation next time.
Cam's going to give a presentation? I understand that at our next meeting, Cam is going to give a presentation on the relationships or lack thereof between zoning and HARB ordinance.
He'd like to put that on the agenda, or mention it today, that next month he's create a little presentation to kind of show how zoning and HARB relate, which activities they both deal with it relate. So just to mention that for next month.
Okay.
My name is Christian Wynn. I am the owner and builder at 219 Poplar Avenue. And as an introduction to new business on this particular project, we had presented previously a garage that was a little bit larger than this, and we had had some feedback from members of the community that a smaller, lower pitched roof would be, more well received in the neighborhood.
On the garage?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
And what we have here is originally we had a 22-foot wide, adding 10 feet to the existing garage. This is the current existing garage currently.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of adding 10, we have gone down to 6 feet, making it 18 feet overall. And we have lowered the roof pitch from a 12 pitch to a 10 pitch to try to lower it. The original 12 was to mimic the roof lines of the main house, but in the interest of, trying to be more with the neighbors and their neighbors' suggestions, we're presenting this. The current siding on the garage is a clapboard siding, and we'd like to change this to a cedar to match the house as well.
And how do these differ from the plans that were originally submitted?
I'm sorry. Originally, the plans showed a steeper pitched roof
Okay.
and a wider overall garage. If those are the plans, would you like me to place them on the screen?
Yeah,
Should we do this next time?
these are the last submittal.
George?
Yeah.
It wasn't on the agenda, so.
Right.
It's nice to, like a sketch plan,
Yeah.
thoughts, but not voting.
This was the original proposed plan. We showed it here in clapboard siding as well as cedar. Just
Right.
at the time, we weren't decided on which way to go. It showed a steeper pitched roof, and it was an overall of 22 feet. And this is the revised. Let's see, the revised. It's hard. It's obviously hard to tell the difference between 10 and 12 on a drawing like this, but the substantially smaller, going from 22 feet to the 18 feet to try to accommodate. The reason being is instead of having to place a shed on the property, we extended it just for bicycles and trash can storage, and there's a set of stairs for additional storage above in the peak here.
Well, I guess we can give our reaction to the plan. I mean, we won't be voting on anything tonight to approve any kind of applications or anything, but my own personal point of view, the changes to this garage don't appear to me to have any negative impact on the historical aspects of the property. So I think I guess the proper procedure is to submit an application to be approved here.
Okay.
Similar to what you did what you did when you put those plans to us with the newer addition.
Yes, sir. If I misunderstood when you had asked about new business,
No, it's fine.
I-
That's
No,
fine.
that's
that was
okay.
my
Good, because
mistake.
I
We're
think-
easy.
No, I don't think it's a mistake at all. I think Cam, who's not here tonight, had suggested sketch plan, almost like reviews, like try, why don't we have discussion about things so that when you then submit,
All right.
we're all more informed. If that's not how I see this.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Are there any suggestions that you would make? We feel that, incorporating the overhangs, using the cedar, and lowering the pitch to make it kind of commensurate with the house, were just some suggestions that we'd received from the neighbors from the original meeting when we had first proposed to the house. So we incorporated those into the garage as well.
How much did you lower the total height of the garage?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't have the the height, but as I said, it was from a 12 pitch to a 10. So I'm assuming it would probably be almost a foot, is my guesstimation. When I bring drawings to the next meeting, I'd be more than happy to show an elevation height.
And the
Well,
site.
for me, what you have there is much more in scale to what should be there
I was going to say
than
the
what you
same.
had before.
I was going to say the same. I'd love to see the site plan because I feel like the built versus, or the ratio of build to open is kind of the development pattern we're hoping to retain. And you're going the right direction, certainly. Maybe you can show better on a site plan to get that feel.
When you where the house and the garage sit.
Yes, just,
Well, currently the garage, and I'll be more than happy to show that to you. All that this is extending is the existing garage. It's still going to stay in the same location,
right.
obviously.
And it's just extending less.
Yes. So this
yes.
right here would line up basically with this back door of the house.
Okay.
So if you walked out the house door, you would walk straight across,
And you wouldn't-
which is about 12 feet
Okay.
right into the garage.
So that will show well in a site plan. I like what you're saying. That
Yes, ma'am.
sounds good. I have to see it, but
Okay.
good.
Okay, well, thanks for that. And, I just want to make clear that what procedurally what we've done tonight, we've waived a specific conditional provision, and that is on the 8 inches. One of the other conditions on our previous approval would be that there would not be a second floor, and whether that's been built or not at this point is really irrelevant to us. We stand by that previous decision. We're an advisory board, and the Board of Commissioners is welcome to entertain any kind of additional requests you might have on that previous approval.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Okay. Is there a training for Harb you wanted to mention?
Oh, thanks.
Yes. I think there's a September 27th, I believe that's right, okay, a county-wide no, it's actually multi-county HARB training sessions. They're having a series of the exact same session, one for every county. Delaware County is September 27th in this building, and I hope we all go. It's good training and it's worthwhile.
Okay.
That's on a Thursday, right?
It's a Thursday afternoon, yes.
Thursday afternoon? Okay.
Okay, nothing else for the good of the order? Meeting adjourned.